Coming to you every week from no place in particular. This is the Forever Road podcast, featuring Bosco. He's a music lover, a historian, and a connoisseur of the obscure. Find us on some great platforms like iHeart, Spotify, and even more as we keep growing. Now, pointed down the Forever Road, here's Bosco.
There we go. Welcome to the best, worst thing you've never seen. Forever Road podcast coming to you live once again this Sunday. I hope everybody's having a great weekend and staying warm. I believe we're supposed to get, Snowmageddon again?
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
I'd be surprised if we got a flurry.
Yeah. Now, I do know that my brother posted that it was snowing near Carrollton, near Noonan.
Well, yeah, that's reasonable though.
That's northwest Georgia? Yeah.
Yeah, but they're higher elevation too.
Mm-hmm.
By at least 100 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I've never looked at that.
Cheers. I'm being fancy tonight.
Hang on, do that again. Hold it up. Nice.
I've literally had these mugs.
I'm being fancy too.
Yeah, there you go. I've literally had it's a set of 4 mugs, and they came in a box as a set, and they're literally, the box says beer mugs. They're designed to go in your freezer, so you'll have a cold mug all the time. Granted, they ain't been in my freezer in probably 10 years because I stopped drinking like that. But they were sitting up in the cabinet, and I was like, damn. Like, I grabbed 2 beers and was going to the kitchen, and I was like, I gotta hurry up. Hurry up. I was walking Pop outside because he was over here for dinner. Yeah, walked him outside and came back in, grabbed the 2 beers, was trying to get everything ready to come in here, and I seen the mug sitting up in the cabinet. I was like, you know what? Let me put one of these in the freezer, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab one now. Poured one of my beers into it. I got these back when I was in the Marine Corps. I made a bet with somebody about a bar that they had. I told them I could get people to come back to their bar, and I had this big idea, and it actually worked, and there's people who came in the bar, but the bet was that I get a beer mug for the bar, and as long as I have that beer mug and that beer mug exists, I get 4 free beers.
That didn't help at all.
No, you're still ugly. But so instead of giving me a mug for the bar, he gave me the 4 mugs. Right. And then if I ever came in with one of those mugs, then I got 4 free beers. Because that's usually all I would drink when I'd go to the bar. I'd drink 4 beers, and that's it. No matter how long I was there, 4 beers was my limit.
Right.
Of course, if I was just stopping in, 4 beers is bad.
Well, with my blood pressure meds, I only drink 3. 3 is my limit.
Yeah.
I try not to push it beyond that. Otherwise, it's not good.
Go to sleep?
No, it's not even go to sleep. Alcohol thins out your blood. Blood pressure meds is essentially a blood thinner.
Yep.
So,
like I said, you'll go to sleep. Maybe permanently, but you'll go to sleep.
Yeah.
Could go into a coma.
No, ain't nobody got time for that.
No. I got to go to work.
I got too much stuff to do.
Got to pay these bills.
Yeah. Which I'm still packing. I didn't realize how much crap I had, man.
Time to do a yard sale?
No, I mean, I need a lot of it, but trying to fit it all into a box and clean and putting more stuff in the what goes in what box. And so finally today I was just like, you know what? It's in this room. It's going in a box. I don't care what it is.
Yep. Box.
Start throwing stuff in a box. Yeah.
Yep. Box.
So I still have a table to clean off, a workbench to clean off, and a hutch to put all that stuff in boxes. But for the most part, I think I got the rest of the house pretty much squared away. I thought I turned my phone down. Hang on, let me try that again. There we go. All right. So, what's tomorrow? What we got going on? Well, you working tomorrow?
No, bowling.
Oh yeah, bowling.
Tomorrow is league night, my friend.
Well, Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Also, Inauguration Day. The second term, non-consecutive of President Trump. Which I don't get political, but we're both patriots, and hey, he's the president now. Well, soon to be, as soon as he's sworn in again.
I mean, he's still a president.
Yeah.
Well, once a president, always a president.
Would that be? They still call him former president up till tomorrow, then, right?
And technically, yes, but they already call him Mr. President because, like, I know with the military, it didn't matter whether, like, if Jimmy Carter came and saw us before he had passed away, it would still be Mr. President.
Mr. President, right?
Mr. President. Well, for military, it's sir, but you know what I mean. It's still Mr.
Oh,
President. Yeah. For generals, it's General Sir, Mr. President, sir. But
yeah,
he'll always have that title.
Yeah. Yep. And he'll never be able to drive himself again, and he'll never be able to. I don't know. Trump's been a big money man anyway. I don't think he's ever driven his own self. Did you know that? Once you're president, you can never drive yourself again. You always have to have somebody drive you everywhere you go. Yeah.
That might be the rule, but there ain't very many people that follow that.
No,
Obama's done it several times on video, and not just some silly little interview with Tim Allen or whoever does interviews like that. I can't remember who it was. Donald Trump still drives himself around. He's got a decent car collection.
Does he?
Yeah. I was trying to think of who else I know of that has driven themselves around quite a bit.
George W. and Reagan. Reagan drove his own Jeep, but it was on his own ranch.
Yeah, that was different though.
I think if you're on your own private property, then you can drive, but I don't think they can drive on public streets anymore. If I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But,
yeah,
still.
I couldn't be president then. No, I'm driving. Y'all want to follow, you can follow, but I'm going to be on my motherfucking bike. I'm a goddamn by God, that's my right. Of course, then again, I'm not really worried. If somebody wanted to get you, it don't matter if you've got a fully up-armored vehicle and you're the only one in the vehicle, or if you're inside of a concrete and steel building with 4,000 people on the outside guarding you and 50,000 on the inside. If somebody wants to get you, they're going to get you. It does not matter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Believe me, I've seen it. How's it going, Marines Blood?
There's a lot of other rules that presidents have to follow once they yeah, a scam victim. That's nice. Speaking of scams, are now going from one presidency to another. And then they kind of fit right in there, didn't it?
I don't know. Presidency's not a scam. Congress and Senate is. But that's political talk. We're not getting into that.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I meant sham.
Well, okay, yeah, we can go with that.
Sorry, my bad. But yeah, congratulations to President Donald J. Trump once again, and that's about as far as my on here that I'll go. Everybody,
yeah.
We don't get into that.
Congratulations, nerd.
No, now I'm a billionaire. What else can I do? I'll be president next.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, when you ain't got nothing else to do. when you realize you'll never be able to spend all of your money, why not become the president and spend all of ours?
Marines boy said, "Yay, politics!
Yay!" All right, next subject.
But now we got a lot of stuff that we're going to cover. Death by misadventure.
What an adventure it would be.
Lord have mercy. Marines blood, you might get a kick out of this. I know that I reached out to a lot of people, just letting them know we were kicking off live, but the 27 Club. You and I, we talked about it earlier, but for those that don't know, the 27 Club is not a physical clubhouse or a legit material club.
There's no living members. Sorry.
Yeah, folks are dying to join.
We're so terrible.
There's a lot of is it cynical or terrible? There's a lot of mysteries and things like that, and a lot of stories behind the so-called 27 Club. I guess I'll go. The first one. Well, so since the late 1800s, for some reason, notable, famous people. No, I did not. Marines Blood said, "Did you share in the FTS and Com Center discourse?" No, I shared it on Facebook in the groups.
Didn't know there was discords.
Well, yeah, there's Fader Stops Discord and Com Center Discord. I don't think we've reached that point of notoriety to have Discord yet. I don't even know how that part works.
Come over, I'll show you.
Got
it up on monitor too.
Nice. I mean, you can Marines Blood if you want to. Feel free.
Please do.
Yes, please do. So, 27 Club has claimed a lot of famous people, mostly musicians, but doing my research, I found out that there has been other people outside of the music industry that have joined the 27 Club. And we're gonna go 100% over the entire list of 20 something people, which some of them have pretty crazy stories. A lot of them, as I've noticed, yeah, a lot of them as I've noticed and done my research, that most of them, it's either overdose or alcohol poisoning. But before we get started, I want to say happy birthday to Janis Joplin. I forgot to look how old she was. Or would be. I know she was 27 when she died.
I was trying not to say it. She was 27. She still is.
Let's see. Oh, she'd be what, 71? Try to pull up calculator. Pull up. Never mind. You know. She was born in 1943. 81. I was 10 years old.
And I'd be willing to bet she'd still be beautiful.
Okay.
You didn't think Janis Joplin was beautiful?
No.
Really? Okay.
No.
That's fair.
No. Yeah. Dude, one of the most amazing voices I've ever heard in music. One of the most powerful,
Definitely.
Amazing. She was a great chick. Apparently, all the research I've looked into it today, and what little bit I knew growing up about her. I know that my mom was the reason why I know who Janis Joplin was. Yeah, she is actually a member of the 27 Club as well. But yeah, physical, I don't think she was attractive. Great chick, amazing singer. Robert Palmer had a birthday today. If you remember who that was, he's not part of the 27 Club. These are just birthdays today. Robert Palmer he did the song "Addicted to Love," and there's a couple other songs that he did. You remember the videos?
Crazy, you're addicted to love.
Yeah, and he was a great blues singer. Aside
that's
from
actually
the pop,
that's actually his background,
right? Aside from the pop stuff that y'all or rock back in the 80s, I don't know why they called anything that happened in the 80s rock and roll, but that's my opinion. I'm not gonna. Hair bands to me wasn't rock and roll.
I was gonna say people from the 50s and 60s would say the same about the 70s rock.
Probably. They said that about the 90s grunge. It's not rock and roll, it's grunge and alt rock. But Robert Palmer, his birthday is today as well. And Dolly Parton.
Yay, Dolly.
If you were a Dolly fan, which she had a few good songs. Obviously, she's a movie star, songwriter. Still out there kicking. So happy birthday to them, I think. Also this day in history, while I'm thinking about it, because I have it written down right here. Deaths on today in history, I just have a few. Tom Petty passed away.
Yes, sir.
You know who Tom Petty was? I'm hoping everybody who listens to this podcast anyway knows who Tom Petty was. Huh?
I said America.
Yeah. You don't know how it feels to be me. I think he had a little whirlwind relationship with Stevie Nicks a while back.
Definitely possible.
Stop kicking my heart around. I think. He passed away today. Let me see something. I can actually read it. I just wrote the names down so I could refer to it. Let's see. It. Yep, Robert Palmer was born this day, 1949. His first solo album, Robert Palmer's first solo album, was 1974, Sneak and Sally Through the Alley. Yeah, get you some of that, huh? Was heavily influenced by the group Little Feat.
Yeah. Very interesting group.
Oh, yeah, that's local Macon, Georgia. Right there.
Yeah, we should probably not cover them one day.
Why?
I don't know. Told you I'm here for the comedy. I'm trying to be funny here, and you're ruining my jokes.
Dolly Parton was born this day, 1946. In 1976, she had the hit single Jolene. 1981, 9 to 5. That's 44 career top 10 country albums. 110 career charted singles over the past 40 years. She has composed over 3,000 songs, including the main one, I Will Always Love You, which was a country U.S. hit at number 1 in 74, but became the U.S. and U.K. number 1 hit for Whitney Houston.
And a lot of people don't realize that Dolly wrote that song.
Mm-hmm. You know who she wrote it about?
Jesus.
Porter Wagner.
Oh, Porter Wagner.
Yeah. She was leaving. He was her manager and all that, and she wrote that about him when she, was leaving his, I guess. So in 1974, Elvis Presley, last week's episode, indicated he wanted to record that song, and she was told, yeah, and I actually know this, and this is another story we'll have to get on somebody else later, but the songwriter signs over half of their publishing rights to any song recorded by Elvis Presley. She refused, and that decision has been credited with helping her make millions of dollars in royalties from the song over the years. So, yeah. Jerry Reed did the same thing with Guitar Man.
Yep.
They tried to corner Jerry Reed, and when they couldn't get the song down right, so they called Jerry Reed, and he'd come in wearing his fishing gear and all that, and he showed them how his little peculiar way of, anybody ever knows who Jerry Reed is, he had a different comedian sound. Great comedian. He was actually in Waterboy. He played the coach of the other team. Yep. Jerry Reed. He played the coach in Waterboy. He played Snowman and Smokey and the Bandit 1, 2, and 3. Gosh, what else was he in? There's a lot of stuff. So yeah, they tried to corner Jerry Reed into, giving up half your royalties, and he was like, or half your publishing rights. He said, "No, I ain't about to do that."
Yeah, I'm not stupid. It was Red Bayou. Yeah. Bayou. That was the coach's name.
Mm-hmm. And then Janis Joplin's birthday, obviously, like I said earlier, she was born in 1943. There was that list. I don't know how I found it. Born today in music. Yeah. Tom Petty died this day in 2018. He had a mixture of of medicine and him when he passed away.
Yeah, but he wasn't 27.
Mm-mm.
I think
Tom
he
Petty,
knew about
Wilson.
Diddy too. That's what it was.
Wilson Pickett died this day in 2006
Wow.
of a heart attack, age 64. Mustang Sally, Everybody Needs Somebody to Love, The Midnight Hour, and 15 other U.S. top 40 singles. And Carl Perkins died in 1998. This day in 1998. Throat cancer. He wrote the classic rock and roll song Blue Suede Shoes, the first record on the Sun label. Yeah, the Sun with Sam Phillips, to sell 1 million copies. His songs were recorded by Elvis Presley, the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, Johnny Cash, and Paul McCartney. Claimed that if there was no Carl Perkins, there would be no Beatles. So there you go. That's this
Damn
day
you,
in
Carl
music
Perkins.
history.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Giving those songs.
Okay. Y'all know, right? Damn you, Carl Perkins. All right. So, starting from the top, which one do you want to go with? Like the first of the 27 Club?
I mean, let's talk about the 27 Club first.
Well, we already did.
We didn't really explain it, what the history behind it is. Kind of lay the foundation. He didn't claim the lives anything.
Supposedly,
the 27 Club is just an ideology. It's just an idea. There is no real factual evidence behind it. It's all conspiracy theory.
Oh yeah.
It's totally what you believe in or what you don't believe. But it also really depends on how far back you want to go with it. Because like Bosco said earlier, there's what was it? You said 1700s?
I think the first one that I found was 1892.
Okay. 1800s. The late 19th century. It's like, does that really count?
I mean, right? I'm with you.
But if you really want to get into the 27 Club, most of the names that are going to be on that list are going to be famous for something.
Right.
Very popular in either entertainment business, be it music or, theater or movies, whatever, or political or business. Or did I already say business? I don't know.
You said business.
But you get what I mean.
Right.
And they all pass away at 27 under, I won't say questionable.
Right.
Questionable.
Well, see, and the funny thing is, right, and a lot of these deaths are.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what makes it part of the 27 Club.
Right. They
Not
all
just because
died
they
in
were
mysterious
27
ways
at the age of 27. And there's a lot of other lore that's attached to it, like the White Lighter. You've heard about that, right?
Not the White Lighter, no.
You've never heard of the White Lighter?
No.
So the White Lighter is part of the 27 Club. So everybody that is in the 27 Club, as far as and what I was going to say is most of those names start around the 60s and go up from there. There's not, I don't know. I've only seen the list a few times. This is actually one of my favorite subjects. I should know a lot more. But most of the people on that list are going to be 60s, maybe some a little bit, earlier than that, but not a whole lot, but mainly from the 60s and up is where the real popularity comes in. But I think that's mainly because of how young society is compared to that information. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like,
Well, I think
there's not very
I want to
many
say
people alive still that listen to the 40s and 50s music like it was their own.
right.
So,
I think every generation has.
yeah, that generation's gone or on its way out. It's the
Right.
oldest generation, and it's sadly it's on its way out.
Well, yeah. Well, some I don't know who it was, but a magazine writer notated that after the death of Brian Jones, almost said Johnson, Brian Jones, one of the original members of the Rolling Stones, after the death of Brian Jones, that well, there's something to this. Of course, it became into the I guess the popular forefront. Well, thank you, Tyler S. By the way, if you're listening, or if you come back and watch next week, or you watch older episodes, click the like and subscribe buttons, whatever side of my screen. I think subscribes here and likes over here, or vice versa. Something like that. Yeah. Thank you. It really means a lot. And share this video to your social accounts. Put it out there. No, I don't have TikTok. Nobody has TikTok. Sorry.
The Chinese do.
Oh yeah. I think
it's funny. I think that is so funny. Anyway, yep. Keep going.
Yeah, I was going to make that into the show title too. TikTok death by misadventure. But anyway,
I'm glad because I don't know nothing about TikTok except for it's very annoying.
Especially when people send you links and it's like, it doesn't work. Sorry.
Yep. Sorry, can't open that. Definitely not today.
So let's see. But yeah, so like the first noted was right after Brian Jones, and somebody went back and looked, I guess the earlier, like you said, 1892, and who was it? It was a Brazilian composer. That's a lot of composers. Brazilian composer, pianist, and conductor.
Was he electrocuted?
Alexander Levy. He would infuse classical style with Brazilian folk and rhythm. Cause of death unknown. And I was like, from what I found here, it was the first member. Like we said, there's no real like sign here. People are dying to get in this club. Remember, so there was a few artists that I would, as I was listening and writing my notes down, that and Kurt Cobain's one of them. He to join the 27 Club, but we'll get to him later.
He's part
next
of the
one, which well, I mean, like I said, we'll
sorry,
get to him
I
later.
could not resist.
Wow, that was funny. So, good Lord, you threw me off totally. Okay.
Woo, ADD grabbed a hold of that one.
Moving ahead, yeah, trying to resist. So moving ahead to 1938 is Robert Johnson. Now, I had There's a previous episode.
All right, give me a second.
Yep, he's got to adjust himself. Uh-oh. What's he got? Oh, Trump's giving them. TikTok is restarting the U.S. services since Trump said giving them an extension. Oh, well, cool. All right. You good? You better now? You can't hear me.
Oh, I can hear you.
Oh.
I just had my mic muted, so it wouldn't have made sense to say anything. See, turn your camera off and you're still ugly.
What?
No, I had to let I had to let Momo out.
Oh.
You didn't hear her behind me whining?
No, I couldn't hear. That was me. I accidentally hit the button down here. It says stop cam.
Should have named her Karen.
Robert Johnson, which like I said, I covered. If you look back in the episodes, it's one of the last. I know it's last season. One on Mississippi address. I think it's 127 Down Street, if I'm not mistaken. Mississippi. Anyway, Robert Johnson. There was a really good story about him. We can kind of touch base on that a little bit. Story goes. Let's see. He died May 16, 1938. He's known as the great grandfather of the blues, or great grandfather of rock and roll. Now, the story about Robert Johnson is he grew up, he wanted to play guitar. That's all he wanted to do. And he couldn't play worth a lick. Story, now we'll go with the myth story. Well, or you want to go with the actual story first?
Well, what was it? He was trying to play, he was cleaning, and he was like a janitor or something in a bar. But when the other bands were not doing anything, he'd go up there and fill in, and everybody would be like, "Oh, get off the stage!" But he just kept trying and kept trying and kept trying and got good.
Well,
but the myth is, go for it.
Well, hang on. So there's a little bit more story to the factual story that he was sent away, and while he was gone, this guy would take him down into the cemetery across the street because it was quiet. Obviously, it's a cemetery. And they would sit there late at night when it was quiet and practice and practice and practice and practice. So he comes back home suddenly. Now he knows how to play. He's putting out great music. He's doing all the
he's writing his own stuff. He's playing other people's stuff.
Right. He's putting out this phenomenal music. And unfortunately, with only 29, only two, let's see, I wrote it down here. Only 2 records with 13. He wrote 29 songs, he recorded 29 songs, and wrote 13 alternate versions with a country producer at the time, Don Law. But the story goes, he comes back and he's putting out this great music. He's playing the Chitlin circuit. We ain't gotta get into what that is. If you want to know, look it up. But predominantly in the South, Chitlin circuit. So, story goes, well, he's in a bar. He goes to take a drink, and his buddy, Sonny Boy Williamson, slaps the drink out of his hand and looks at him and says, he said, man, don't ever drink a bottle. Don't ever take a drink from a bottle you haven't opened. And Robert Johnson looks over at him and goes, man, don't ever knock a bottle out of my hand. All right. So later on in the evening, he takes the drink couple hours later, he starts howling. He's in pain. His stomach, all this other stuff. They say that he was poisoned. He'd been flirting with a married woman all night. He wasn't married at the time himself. His Robert's wife had passed away in 1933, so this is 1938. But so his buddy looking out for him. Don't, why are you taking a drink, especially back then, right? Apparently a jealous husband poisoned this drink or this bottle. Women can get you in trouble, especially if she's married and you ain't not to you. So, and so he, after a few days, he succumbed to his illness. But go ahead with the other story.
The other story is that he sold his soul to the devil at the crossroads. Met a man in a bar. The man told him, really want to learn to play. Go to this crossroads out in the middle of Timbuktu, some dirt road looking place. And he met some guy out there, and the guy offered him anything he wanted for his soul. He sold his soul to the devil for guitar lessons. That's the myth. Now, there's a lot more to that story too, but I don't have that one memorized either.
Yeah. For deeper info on that one, I'd go back a couple episodes. I'd have to look it up, but I don't have my other laptop on. But yeah, it's a pretty good story. That he goes to, the devil appears, takes his guitar, tunes it, plays a little bit, hands it back to him, and then suddenly he knows how to play with this magical guitar.
And that's it.
And you make a deal with the devil. Supposedly, you make a deal with the devil's going to come collect. I wasn't there. I don't know. Just telling the story. So, but it led on in the cultural impact of Robert Johnson, and that story along with, like I said, tonight's topic, carried on to several, years and years. Eric Clapton and the Cream wrote about the Crossroads. Leonard Skinner covered the song Crossroads, which was one of his songs. So
Bone Thugs and Harmony did Crossroads.
A different version, but wow.
Sorry, taking it back, killing my age.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that was Robert Johnson. Let's see, moving on. We got nothing really big in the 60s aside from Brian Jones. So Brian Jones, like I said earlier, the Rolling Stones, the original member of the Rolling Stones, said he had a temper, had problems or whatever. Marines blood. Oh, that ain't wise. I miss my married wife all the time.
Yeah. Keyword my.
Yeah. Keyword my. Yeah. This is where I get the show title from, because apparently England, they like to the word their stuff. And as I'm listening to, gathering my information, making my notes and all that, and they said that the medical examiner ruled his death by misadventure. I was like, well, that's a different way of putting it.
We got to remember the word suicide didn't come around for a while.
Yeah. I don't think we can say it on YouTube. Can we? I don't know.
It's not like
super
it's not like we're monetized anyways.
That is true.
What are they gonna do?
And that's
take away all our money.
The show is free. That's why the quality content that you get. Uh,
Yeah, look at our cameras.
yeah.
Paid all this money and we're still ugly. No fancy apps or filters.
Brian Jones, he drowned. He was kicked out of the Rolling Stones, and a few years later, I think his wife found him at the bottom of the pool. She said that he was still breathing when they put him in the back of the ambulance, take him to the hospital. That was one, that was her account of what happened. But they said it was just the best information I found was just death by misadventure. I don't know how much, if it was drugs or alcohol, but if I had to guess, it was probably a little bit of both. And yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was July 3rd, 1969. And that was when that's when you first see the phrase 27 Club, hit, because there was Delvin Pride, this guy, he passed away May 26, 1969. A few other people that, throughout the years, but this is the first time you actually see it. Notated, I guess, or brought to light. Jimi Hendrix. April 18th, 1970, which I covered him on a previous episode. I said it was OD that he asphyxiated. Of course, in my episode, me and this back when Will Cray was in here with me, that he, there was another story that went on along with it. It wasn't that he OD'd, that he got murdered by his manager. He was talking about leaving the road, and then the road manager got mad
because he was going to lose a lot of money if Jimmy stopped.
Yeah, and there was
if he died, he'd make more money off of him.
Yeah, because what happens after someone, like we were on the phone earlier.
Yep.
What happens right after somebody dies, man? Their record sales go through the roof.
Yep.
Suddenly everybody wants to grab a piece of that last little bit of whatever that famous person did. That last, this is the last album, or this is the last, or the first,
This is the last unopened Thriller album. Still has the Starship.
I can't remember. They said that his road manager was tied in with the mob. They said that he owed a bunch of people some money. They said that he was MI6, I think, was one of the stories. I'm just going off memory here. But like I said, we covered him on a previous episode.
Yeah.
He died in London. His girlfriend left him in the hotel, the London flat.
His rental property.
Well, he was over there, and we were talking about. Yeah, Hendrix had a lot of issues. He had problems with addiction and alcohol, but he
was also a veteran.
Yeah, he was also a veteran. He served in the Army.
In
Vietnam. He was airborne, wasn't he? Airborne.
101st.
Yeah,
out of Fort Bragg.
So, and people say that his version of the national anthem was a little bit unorthodox. He was like, "No, man, I thought it was beautiful."
It is the most well-known version of it outside of the standard.
I said it was a protest, and it wasn't that. He wasn't protesting the war in Vietnam. He actually supported it, believe it or not. And I know I covered that before, but
Well, he didn't support
if
the
you,
war itself. He supported the troops that were being told they had to go fight.
yeah,
He was like, yes, be mad at the war. We shouldn't be fighting the war, but don't be mad at those guys that are just doing their job.
no, he
That's
was
what his
actually against communism and the
well,
domino effect that China was coming into Vietnam and that whole. I think it's a domino effect. There's a term that they used back then. No, maybe that's it. I don't know.
I don't know. And yeah, but I mean, he even said we still shouldn't have been over there. But either way.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing. We all know how it kicked off. If you know your military U.S. history, we know how
All about money.
how the Vietnam War kicked off. False flag and the Gulf of anyway. Yeah. But yeah, so that's Hendrix. So where are my notes at? And then a month later, a month or so later, Miss Janis Joplin. Blues, rock and roll. What do they say? The queen of rock and roll, would you say? Janis Joplin?
I don't know. That's kind
I would call
of
her. Oh, it was the early rock and roll, like
no. The queen of rock and roll had to have been Stevie Nicks. Hold on. Only 1 point. Ready?
I'm gonna hear you out.
Not only did she write a song about how shitty her ex-husband was, she made him join the band and play in it. He played lead guitar on the song that was about him.
Yeah.
That's a queen move right there. I'm just saying.
Vocally, I disagree. Vocally,
No.
I disagree. In comparison, Janis
Yeah,
Joplin
did so much more. Yeah.
Tremendously way better than Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks sounded like she'd been smoking since she was 3. Just saying. I don't. Just my opinion. I'm not a Stevie Nicks fan. She ruined Fleetwood Mac.
She was Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac was there before she even joined. Fleetwood Mac was a phenomenal rhythm and blues band until she joined. Then they became a pop band. I never have been a Stevie Nicks fan.
We'll do a show on them sometime. We'll come back around to that one.
But anyway, so Janis Joplin in my book, probably one of the best female voices ever. She was born at like I said earlier today, 1943. I was about to ask, do you know where she was born? Say it again.
Port Arthur, Texas.
Port Arthur, Texas. She's actually banned for a little while from she was bullied growing up. She says she felt like she was born in the wrong skin just because of her views and stuff back then. You know, the world was way different.
Yeah.
And it was Texas. I can't speak for Texas. I don't know anything about the place other than it's hot. And half of it's desert.
We'll call Jerry and ask him.
Yeah. So I always thought Fleetwood Mac was an individual. Tyler S is in the chats. He said, always thought.
Is he a Marine too?
I don't know.
If he's friends with Marine's blood, it's definitely possible. And Tyler, I only ask. That sounds like one of them smart comments I would have made.
He's Canadian.
Oh, dear Jesus. I don't know what's worse. Anyway,
Ryan Reynolds and Fleet and the Wolverine and who else? Shania Twain. All them.
and that one dude just got hair. I don't know.
Thank you, though. I did work for a company named Marine, so I guess he was a Marine.
Worked on boats.
So yeah, Janis Joplin, she would join Big Brother and the Holding Company. Like I said, she'd been bullied in school as she was growing up. Tomboyish. She did hold a few different relationships with different people. Being arrested and bullied and dealing with depression. I find that to be in this list to be like the main kind of
Connection.
what's the yeah, but it's like the main
Similarity.
yeah.
Likeness.
There's another word I'm looking for. Catalyst to all of it. She would later on create her own blues band called the Cosmic Blues Band. $1,300 a day in today's money in the H heroin. $1,300 a day.
Her
$1,300
a day.
Yes, that's
Back
today's
then?
money.
Oh, today's money.
No. That's today's
Oh,
money.
that's not much.
Oddly enough, on October 3rd, so she passed away October 4th. October 3rd was the last song she recorded was Buy Me a Mercedes Benz. That's a great song, by the way. If anybody's a Janis Joplin fan, she's
What me?
Yeah. So yeah. Jim Morrison. Anybody know anything about Jim Morrison and the Doors? Anybody, you're a Doors fan? Anybody in the chat? Y'all Doors fans?
He opened me up to a bunch of music.
People are strange
You get
when you're a stranger.
With the Doors. No. Okay.
The Lizard King. He got arrested in Texas as well. He's one of those people. He got arrested in Texas for indecent exposure.
Yeah, but look at all the other places he was arrested for indecent exposure.
Well,
it's Jim Morrison.
I mean, that's why they call him the Lizard King. You flip his junk out in public.
Yep. He just wanted to
They said that
his fire.
they said that there's a movie about the Doors. Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Phenomenal character actor.
It's a decent movie.
Totally encompassed the whole spirit of Jim Morrison, just the same way he did in Tombstone.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
The last recording. Yep. LA Woman was his last recording. He would die July 3rd, 1971. Who else did I just say? Yeah. Well, July 3rd, 1969, Brian Jones. Okay. LA Woman, long song, man. That's a great, phenomenal song, though. But yeah, he would die. They ruled it a heart attack, but his whole thing was shrouded in mystery. His girlfriend left him. See a common occurrence here. He was in France, I believe. I think he died. Yeah, he died in Paris, France. In the bathtub. But like there was no coroner, there was no priest at the funeral, nothing. They just chunked him in a hole, covered it up, called it good, and left. Like it was a whirlwind, like quick thing. Like, here we go. So that leads to speculation that did he really die? But for him to be as much of the showman that he was and the way his personality was, I mean, could he really stay away from the light if he faked his own death?
No, moth to a flame.
I thought you were dead. Oh well, yeah. I got better.
It was just indigestion.
Yeah, I was just kidding. Yeah, indigestion. I ate something bad. It was. I got better. But yeah, man. I mean, how many other songs did he have? And they still kind of carried the torch on for a couple years after the fact. But yeah, that was like I said, it was shrouded in mystery. Oh man, is he really?
Oh yeah.
Why was it? Why was he? He died, chunked himself in there, and in the hole, and dipped out. Let's see. Do we want to leave the big one for last?
Sure.
The
one I was actually alive for.
We both were.
Because I don't count the other one.
We'll go ahead and talk about. Which one are you talking about?
The most recent one, I guess.
Amy Winehouse?
Yeah, that crazy crackhead.
I was going to bring that up.
I mean, yeah, she's a part of the 27 Club because she was 27 when she passed away. But there's no mysterious circumstances to her death. There's no conspiracies, nothing. She was supposed to go to rehab, didn't want to do it.
She said no.
people were like, no, you need to do that. And she's like, screw you. I want to live my life. I don't want to go to rehab. Even wrote a song and then overdosed.
That's so, I mean, I couldn't believe. Now, I'll say this.
I commend her on being honest with herself. She said, I will never get sober, but I can keep
It wasn't
trying.
crack, it was heroin.
Yeah.
Tyler S.
You know what I mean. Crack, heroin, she killed herself. It could have been a gun. It still would have been the same results. But yes, it was heroin. But I mean, I feel personally, my opinion is that there's no mystery in that one. That one's clear cut and dry, done. Like my ex-wife's roast beef, dry and done.
Nope, I ain't touching that.
No, nobody does. I don't know why she keeps cooking. Surprised the kids lived. Anyway,
still alive.
No, really. I don't think there's any conspiracies behind the Amy Winehouse. Somebody could come up with one, and I'm sure there are some. But there's no mystery in it. She was 27, but she was young.
I'm not saying that. But for that girl to be struggling the way she was, and she actually said just to step out on the street, and she was watching somebody. I think the story said she was looking out, and she was watching somebody walk down the road, and she goes, God, just to have 10 minutes to live like that, where you can walk down the street and not be harassed or hassled or anything like that, So I think that stardom, being famous and all that, kind of gives you a lot of people can't handle it. It's hard for me to handle sometimes. But
as soon as you get around 5 other people, it gets crowded.
All right. You do too.
No, I'm around 20 people. I get around 20 people and I'm uncomfortable.
But I will give Amy Winehouse credit. Her voice was a callback to the 50s and 60s. The Supremes, and that's what comes in my mind. Aretha Franklin.
Soulful
music. to this day.
Yeah.
It hasn't even really been done. I think you maybe. I'm not a fan of her music, but what's the other British girl's name?
Adele.
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe it's that blonde chick sings really good.
But I'm not a fan of her songs either.
But she's got a beautiful voice. You can't
Right.
deny that.
I will
you
say
may not
that
like the music, but she can sing.
Yes.
Have you heard her sing Amazing Grace?
No.
You need to go.
That's got to be amazing then. That's got to be awesome.
Gracefully amazing.
But like, hang on, gonna swap out here. I can't wait till we get into our next topic, but I'm just gonna say that I did take a few minutes and listen to a few of Amy Winehouse songs that you didn't really hear on the radio.
Yep.
The girl had it. She may have had the wrong people around her. I think that's probably what did a lot of her damage. She had the wrong people around her.
That was about 90% of it.
Which is, just like Jimi Hendrix, just like Janis Joplin, the list goes on. And especially this last one that we'll get to now. And you're old enough. I'll even say it goes as far as saying this: where were you the day that you heard that Kurt Cobain took himself out of the game? We'll touch base on what we were told, and then we can get into the conspiracy parts. I remember I was in middle school.
I don't want to be on that list.
Uh-huh.
Said I don't want to be on that list.
On what list?
Damn, people talking about the conspiracies. Not coming after me.
Oh yeah. Tyler has some Marines blood just going back and forth in the chat. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Tyler S says, could you imagine Cobain as an old man though? Be worse than Elvis, probably better. We remember him the way we do.
I don't think Kurt Cobain would have gotten like that because he didn't like the stardom. He didn't like the fame. He was completely opposite. That's why he started doing heroin in that hotel in Seattle, because he wanted to get away from the stardom. He didn't want people knowing where he was and what he was doing, and he just wanted to be left the hell alone. He didn't even he got mad when he found out that people were charging $50 for a ticket for the concert.
Hang on.
Bye.
Oh no, I'm right here. I just had to get my pen. Apparently bounced halfway across the room.
But playing with a damn thing. But I think if Kurt Cobain, I think if Kurt Cobain's story would have ended up different than what it had ended, I still think he would have ended up the same. I think it still would have ended the same way, but maybe later on down the road. But I for sure don't think he would have kept doing music for much longer.
No, he would have.
And it's not like he was running out of ideas either. He just wasn't into it. He didn't want the stardom. That's why what is his name? Dave
Grohl.
Yeah. He did what was that band? Foo Fighters?
Yeah.
Yeah, he already had Foo Fighters lined up before Kurt had ever passed. That was already something that Dave Grohl was working on.
Right.
So why would he be working on something if Nirvana was doing so good? It's because Kurt Cobain had decided he didn't want to do that anymore. So he was telling Dave Grohl, go do it, get it ready. And then Chris, the bassist, he wasn't really interested either, but he enjoyed his time doing it. He's done interviews. He was like, I didn't really like the popularity either. He goes, I liked the simple life and then playing music in the bars and stuff.
Wasn't he the one that went to the Marines or Navy SEALs?
No.
One of the members from Nirvana went to the military.
No. Chris Novoselic.
Let's see.
I'm looking it up now.
Was he a Ranger?
I know he got into politics.
Jason Everman.
Who's that?
He was with the band. Yeah, he was with Nirvana. Ooh. American musician and soldier who played guitar with Nirvana and Mindfunk, and bass in Soundgarden and OLD or old. He's still alive, but still. Served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Huh.
And who was that?
Everman joined. Yeah, he was the original Nirvana, second guitarist. Originally joined Nirvana in February 1989. He listed as being a second guitarist on Nirvana's Bleach.
Because I only remember Aaron Bruckard and I'm trying to find the other guy's name. Oh, Chad Channing. Before they got Dave Grohl, they had Chad Channing.
Yeah, Jason Everman. Huh.
Well, screw you, Wikipedia. Oh well. But yeah, I don't think he would have ended up like that.
What, Nirvana? Kurt Cobain?
Kurt Cobain. No, he would have mellowed out and become a hermit up in the mountains in Seattle. Or north of Seattle. Somewhere over there.
Oh, he was 2nd Ranger Battalion, Sergeant First Class, 3rd Special Forces Group, War in Afghanistan, Iraq War. 94 through 2006. Dang, he was in there for a while. He's still alive.
Did 11 years?
He was born in... Huh?
What is that, 11? That's 94 to 2000. No, it's 12 years.
2006. Yeah. 12 years.
12 years.
I mean, they weren't doing jack squat in 94. I think that whole thing really started kicking off in 98, didn't it?
What?
Anything over Middle East.
No, that was
Again.
Desert Storm.
Was Desert Storm back happening in 94? I thought it was over in like 91.
No, that's when my brother went into did he get out of the Marine Corps in 94? Yeah, he got out of the Marine Corps in 94. And he got in. Wait, you know what? I'm not even gonna look it up. I don't know. He went in just after the beginning of Desert Storm, and then got out just before it all ended. Air quotes, big heavy ones. He got out just before it ended, and I'm sure he got out in No, he went in 94. And it was
that's
dead.
the same time Jason here got in. So it says that in September 94, he was influenced by Renaissance icon Benvenuto Cellini. Benvenuto. Anyway. Said that a well-rounded man is an artist, warrior, and philosopher. He enlisted in the United States Army, subsequently serving the Army's 2nd Ranger Battalion, Delta Company, and later with the Special Forces, serving in Afghanistan and Iraq. Completed service, took a break from the military, moved to New York City, then traveled to Tibet. He re-entered the Army when they offered a chance to rejoin Special Forces. Honorable discharge in 2006. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he's not part of the 27 Club. He's just part of Nirvana. Anyway. So, there's another person that joined the 27 Club that I discovered, and I went down the Reddit rabbit hole on this. Hey, look, there's Andrea. Andrea Uplate is in the chats. Andrea, you might get a kick out of this one.
Andrea. Okay.
Andrea, where were you in BC when Kurt Cobain died? Where were you at when you heard the news that he took himself out of the game? There's the Disruptors, Brian Sanders, or BC as I still call him. Everybody else calls him Brian, which is weird. Like me calling him Turtle by his real name.
Yeah, God forbid you do that, because I probably would not answer.
It's weird to hear my mom call my real name. I'm like, who? Oh.
Who else
She's
you know?
talking to me.
Who else you know with that name?
Who the hell you call? Oh wait, no, sorry.
Who that is? Who there?
She said, I was in high school and Allison Gottschall, is that how you pronounce it?
Gotcha.
Walked in crying. So if y'all don't know, Andrea Ublate, she's also supports us as well. Everybody in the chats anyway already knows, but those are listeners. She covers a lot of true crime. Speaking of that, this is what we're about to cover. Maybe a little bit of conspiracy, less the true crime, more conspiracy. But yeah, y'all ain't too late. We're just getting to the good meat of this story. So we're covering the 27 Club. We've covered a lot of it up to Kurt Cobain's death. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Matter of fact, BC, we're just talking about that. One of Nirvana's band members was in the 2nd Ranger Battalion. So yeah, y'all go check her out, Andrea Uplate, or Night Shift with Andrea and her lovely main squeeze, BC Sanders. On Tuesday nights, usually at 8:00, I believe. So yeah, y'all go check them out. But so was it April 4th, 1994? I didn't even have the date written down, I don't think. No, I didn't.
Yep. April 4th.
No, April 5th. Sorry. You're right.
Yeah. 5th. Yep. You said 4th and it threw me off. Yep. April 5th.
Not bad. I think that's so he had Kurt Cobain had gone missing. He'd been struggling with, like we've been talking about off and on. He struggled with his fame and notoriety. I know at one point there were stories way prior to this that him and Axl Rose got into it, and the band actually they were still together at the time, Guns N' Roses, backstage when I think Axl Rose said something about Courtney Love and telling Kurt how he needs to keep his woman in line and all that, and Kurt kind of played along with it, but he wasn't a fan of Guns N' Roses because he thought they were sellouts. It's kind of the same thing he did, kind of sold out. He felt like it. I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying he felt like
he did say that. Yeah, you're right.
Right. But and this is just something that I watched a while back. There was a big beef between Nirvana, members of Nirvana, members of Guns N' Roses, mainly Axl Rose, Kurt Cobain. I don't think Slash was involved. I don't think Duff McKagan. I think Duff McKagan goes on to say that right before Kurt Cobain went missing, right before it, he saw Kurt in Seattle get off. They shared a plane going into Seattle, and he meant to say something to check on Kurt. He said he even to this day it still bugs him that he just never just kind of reached out and was like, "Hey man, are you okay?
You good?"
He just kind of let it. All right, yeah. He never, of course, it's way before cell phones, text messages, and all that. When your buddy could really blow your phone up if they want to check on you.
Don't know anybody that would do that.
No, not at all. But do you think, say, Andrea says, I think Axl and Kurt were one of the same, and in the sense, raised by the grandparents, home life. Yeah, I'll agree to that. Both struggle with alcoholism and addiction. Kurt more addiction than alcoholism, but
yeah, he didn't really like alcohol.
No. He was real. I'll say this. I can remember when their live MTV Unplugged. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
When it was on MTV. This was before the album actually dropped. I think that was the last thing that they did. That session, and there's one song that sticks out, and I think we talked about it a couple years ago while we were, game chatting and all that.
Dreaming up this idea.
There's one song, and I have it on my playlist. I think all 3 playlists that I have it on each one of them. And y'all let me know in the chats what y'all think about their unplugged stuff. I thought it was phenomenal. The In the Pines.
Yep.
His take on In the Pines.
Yep. Cover song.
That cover song by Leadbelly. And I think they said that I think he states in that recording that the estate of Leadbelly's estate wanted him to buy that guitar. So what you see of Kurt Cobain playing on stage is Leadbelly's. If you go back in music history, Leadbelly's an old blues guitarist. It goes way back to the Willie Dixon days, maybe as far back as Robert Johnson. Matter of fact, I'll look it up now. Let's see. And yes, to answer your question, my opinion, Tyler S. Yes, it's still continuing to be good. Better, even.
More better, good.
Lead, I cannot spell. Good Lord. What was that? Leadbelly. Huddy William Ledbetter. Morgan Sport, Louisiana, 1888. He passed away at the age of 61 in 1949 in New York City. Guitar, vocals, yeah. So if you go back and listen to his stuff, so he was back there in the Robert Johnson days.
Was he 27?
No, he's 61. Close.
Almost made it.
He's
an overachiever. I hope to make it past 27.
I mean, I'm gonna be 25 forever. But yeah, he if you go back and listen to Leadbelly, even his music had that kind of, some of the songs had that eerie sound to it too, kind of like, oh man, this is some real serious stuff. But that one recording of In the Pines If you go back and listen and read the original lyrics of that song, kind of rough. But if you look at the set of, oh, that's a good question. Dang, we'll get to that in a second. So BC posed this question: Jason never played in Soundgarden. Who is better, Soundgarden or Nirvana?
Can't answer that.
I think it's two different.
That's a loaded question. You can't answer that. You can't say who's better, Nirvana or Soundgarden, because you can't compare the two. They are.
That's kind of like asking who's better, Allman Brothers or Skynyrd. You know, it's kind of two different.
Who's better, Elvis or Metallica? I mean, there's a big age difference in the two, but the popularity of the music is exactly the same.
They're both grunge, they're both hard rock, but two different, I think, two different ends of that. But... Oh, Toto 38 Special. For real?
Okay. I'm going to have to go with 38 Special on that, just because they have a better presence. But Toto is
by far
forever iconic, at least in Africa. I
hate that song. I finally got over that.
Trolling us.
I hate that song.
That's what we do. That's this whole show, is we answer stupid questions.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's why we're here. That's why I like doing this.
Yeah, that's what we're here to do. And hell yes to Toto. Exactly.
I don't know, man. You're on your own with Toto. Sorry, dude. And Andrea.
I think I only know like 3 of their songs.
I only know one. Did they do 2 more?
Yeah. They were all single out. Hey, they were in the top 5 in Africa. Neater.
I hear it rains over there.
Not if you could test them.
Anyhow, so
next.
We all know that. So after the whole big unplugged thing, but if you look at, that's what I was trying to get to.
Yep.
Got distracted. Thank you. If you look at the stage and the setup, go back and watch that video. Look at the setup and the stage of In the Pines, Nirvana, MTV Unplugged. It looks like a funeral. And if you kind of look at it, listen and watch the video, you pay attention to Kurt. It's kind of, maybe in his mind, you can almost see like, yeah, dude, I'm tired. I'm done. I've had enough. You know. There again. Now, he leaves New York City, gets to Seattle. That's when he runs into Duff McKagan. And there again, I say, Duff I think he even says it still today. He didn't reach out. He didn't say anything when he could have just been like, hey, man, you good. But they just he went one way and Kurt went the other. Oh, yeah. So we all know that Kurt and what's her face? Courtney Love. They had a big, to me, and I'm going to be careful because I know we have a punk rock fan here. But if you think about it, they were kind of the Nancy and Sid and Nancy of the 90s. Of course, this time Nancy doesn't die. Unfortunately. That's rude to say. I'm sorry. What do you think? Sid and Nancy of the 90s? Courtney Love and Kurt?
Who's Sid and Nancy?
Sid. How do I know who Sid and Nancy are and you don't? Sid Vicious, Nancy Spungen.
You talking about the wrestler Sid Vicious?
No, from the BC. Help me out in the chat. You're
I'm not
more
even
of a punk
looking at
rock
chat.
fan than
Just
I am.
tell me. Who are you talking
Oh yeah,
about?
okay.
You
Sex
talking about
Pistols.
Sid Vicious? Oh,
From the Sex Pistols.
never listened to the
Oh,
Sex
okay.
Pistols. I know who they are, but I didn't. Yeah, know nothing about them. Could care less.
Yeah, I mean British punk doesn't.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah.
But if you look at the story in comparison, it was kind of like they were, what do they call it now? Toxic relationships. Yeah, it was severely toxic. I think Courtney had severe jealousy issues and control issues over Kurt.
She was a narcissist.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Everything had to be about her.
So along this same time, was also a member of the 27 Club, was the bass player from Hole, Kristen Pfaff. This is where it gets weird for me, because I didn't realize this until today, like doing research and all that. As it's going down this list and I'm reading and I'm watching the video and all that, that said Kristen Pfaff, bass player of the Hole. She drug overdose. And I stopped and I went, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that the lead singer of Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, and the bass player from Hole die within a month or so of each other?
At the same age.
At the same, yeah, 27, obviously. And I stopped and I went, hold on. So I went down the Reddit rabbit hole, and I ain't going to pull it up here or anything like that because I don't think I have the login on this computer. But I'm sitting here going, wait a minute. So I started looking into it. There were several songs done by both Kurt and Courtney about the little love affair between Kurt and Kristen. You know, so I'm going, there's no way these two can't be. I mean, so apparently they did have something going on behind the scenes, behind the, backstage
Supposedly.
antics, if you will. No, it was like legit. Well, okay, supposedly we'll go with that.
Supposedly, it's all hearsay.
Supposedly,
because there's no photo proof of any of that, and it's all circumstantial, propagated information.
I mean, I ain't in no way, shape, or form pointing fingers.
No,
this out or the other with anybody doing whatever.
I don't know for sure that this is factual information, but it's highly likely. It is very possible.
So, and maybe Andrea, if you want to do a deeper dive, because I know that's your thing, on that whole slipper slide stuff with Kurt Cobain. I mean, I like this story, so I'm gonna keep running with it. So everybody knows, Kurt Cobain joined the. What'd you say earlier? I don't know how you said it. I can't repeat it.
The Blue-Eyed Club. I was trying to figure out what the hell you were even talking about. I'm like, what? What do you brain work? Yeah, the Blue-Eyed Club. One eye blew this way, one eye blew that way.
Yeah.
Or this way.
So, they go try to look for Kurt. They can't find him, and some phone guy or plumber or electrician went to go work at the house in Seattle, and I think that's how they found him, with a gun, with a shotgun on his chest, and this long written letter to his imaginary friend. And I wrote that down. I thought it was kind of weird.
You ever seen that letter?
I did a long time ago.
Go find that letter again. That letter is cryptic as hell.
It is. But see, what doesn't make sense, and like Andrea says in the chats, it's a mess, but heroin didn't help any of it. You know, if he's that, I mean, really, if there was that much dope in his system, do you really think he could have pulled the trigger?
Oh yeah. Heroin doesn't put you in the dirt the whole damn time. And you got to imagine he's doing it all the time, not a whole bunch at one time.
But even still, he's a little guy. It ain't like, you know, somebody like me.
It's like microdosing. A little bit.
Somebody like me that's 6 foot and 270, and
yeah, but your first dose is going to knock you on your ass for like 3 days. He's been doing it every day since he was like 14.
I don't know anything about it.
That's what I'm saying.
Node have committed suicide on the nod have committed suicide. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's still, I mean, there again, wasn't it a pump shotgun or was it a double barrel?
I don't. I think it was a pump. Now I have to go look it up.
Yeah. Turns out he did have a gun. I'll let you look it up.
God, I want that guitar. Anyway.
See, that's another question. You know, could it be somebody giving him more potent stuff? Going back to the Janis Joplin thing earlier when she overdosed, the dose that she got from her dealer, apparently whatever mixture that batch was, it killed several other people from the same batch. So, but you know, like you said, coming back to Kurt Cobain, you know, could it have been? You know, I ain't never done drugs. I smoked a little weed years ago, and I don't like it. It didn't agree with me. I understand that people use it for medicinal purposes, and I'm with you 100%. You know, for me personally, I don't. We could go full tin hat. Tinfoil, what I say? Tinfoil hat, and say it was like, yeah. I don't know. I think that Courtney had her hand in it. Out of jealousy. I think Courtney had her hand in it out of jealousy. Not only that Nirvana was doing better than Hole was, but also that Kurt was in a relationship and possibly in love with Kristen, however her name is. That's my opinion. You know, they said that there was a lot of infidelity on both sides. Kurt was very obviously, you see it, you know, everybody knows the stories, how hard he struggled. Never heard of any drug dealers. Yeah. Hey man, Tyler S. I'm a weed user. Sound like a cop. Heroin always gets stepped on, so there's always hot batches out there. Hey, look, Uncle Jerry's in the chats.
I can't see the chat right now.
Oh, well, I had it pulled up a second ago. You're just looking at your screen or something. But no, so what is y'all's in the chat? What do y'all's take? Y'all think that Courtney had her hand in it? I mean, most of us, I think we're still alive. We're alive. Turtle's shaking his head, yes.
She didn't pull the trigger, but I'm pretty sure she pulled the trigger.
She had her hand. I think she. How did we say it earlier when we were on the phone?
She forced his hand.
Yeah.
She mentally degraded him on a regular basis. She was a narcissistic. See you next Tuesday. She was terrible, just terrible. And I mean, that's another reason why he was talking to the other girl.
Right.
So I mean, it's just she just mentally beat him down, and he's not a fighter. He's just a he was emo before emo was emo. He's the king of emo. He just didn't show it because he knew better. Because he's also a Gen Xer, and he probably got his butt beat for being a crybaby.
You know, I could remember thinking back then, it's like, dude, you're famous. You have the world at the palm of your hand, all this money. You do whatever you wanted to, and you just take yourself out of the game like that.
Yeah,
You know,
that's why I don't think he did it like completely on his own. She
Right.
manipulated the hell out of him to get him to do it. And I think she was at the house when he did it.
I think it was more or less, and also one of those things like what we talked about earlier, the road manager killing Hendrix.
Yeah.
You know, if I get him to kill himself, and everybody knows it, everybody who listens is a huge fan of music alone. I mean, look at it, the popularity of Nirvana shot up after that.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Hendrix shot up after that. You know, all these
Nirvana
other
shirts.
artists. Huh?
They're still wearing Nirvana shirts.
Yeah.
Granted, most of those people don't even know who Nirvana is, but whatever.
It's funny to see high school kids nowadays walking around wearing Nirvana shirts.
I seen a group of kids at the bowling alley the other night. No, last night. Def Leppard, Metallica, and they're from the south side of town. It's like, do you even know who Metallica and Def Leppard is? Like, no, it's a cool shirt.
Get to the suitcase. Yeah. I mean, what would you say when? Oh, so there's a new station on a radio music app that I listen to, and it called it Classic Rock, New Classic Rock. And I was hesitant to push the button, so I pushed the button anyway. I was like, let's see what happens. And you were here, helped me last weekend. Remember we talked about this and said, what did you say? The kid said Metallica was classic rock and Nirvana was vintage or something like that. Do you remember? You don't remember saying that at all? Yeah, it made me feel old.
Oh, where somebody said that Nirvana was classic?
Yeah. But it really is like, oh, great. Now Nirvana is classic rock.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam. Well, so BC, I present this to you. Which one's better, Pearl Jam or Nirvana? Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, or Nirvana? You know, kind of all the same sound. They all kind of came from Seattle anyway.
Same genre. Yeah.
Yeah, but different ends of the
timeline. Yeah.
Yeah. Pearl Jam came out right before Nirvana did. Maybe, but we know that people's status doesn't preclude them from depression. Plenty of famous people have committed suicide. Yeah, and that's kind of what we've been talking about throughout this episode. Yeah, and Tyler S says it. You know, nothing against women really, but a woman can push a man to do anything. It's a very scary thought, especially when in my brain, in my book, a woman, your life partner, your wife, was supposed to support you and back you up and all the other things. If she did nothing but beat the man down, and you see it in his face, you see it, you hear it in his music. I don't know if it's kind of a diary a self diary of in his music.
It's a muted scream.
Oh, nice. But
Because you won't hear it unless you're
yeah,
listening. I mean, go
does
listen
sound
to
good.
it. Go listen to Nirvana's music as an adult now. Like if you grew up with Nirvana, go back and listen to it now. You're gonna be like, wow, he has been crying for help for years.
Yeah.
And nobody caught that shit. We were just in school. Yeah, it smells like Teen Spirit. Yeah.
I was going to say Temple of the Dog. I was sitting here trying to think of that band, but yeah, Temple of the Dog. Very solid. I mean, I can remember, new Nirvana album's out. Oh, back then it was cassette, CD, whatever. Mother Love Bone. Yep. Good Lord. We're just going down the 90s grunge.
All right,
And most of the time,
everybody get out your ID cards. Where's that concrete tablet
at? Yeah. But
Mother Love Bone.
what was that?
Really old.
But yeah, so that was the 27 Club, y'all. I think that the highlight of the whole thing was Kurt Cobain, and I think that was out of all these that we've ran through tonight. I think that was the saddest part of the whole thing. Because we were middle school, and it was like
I was at high school.
It was 94. You were already in high school?
Mm-hmm.
Let me think. Yeah, I was supposed to, man. But we ain't got to go there. That's why I have a GED. But I can remember, like, it hit, and I guess we'll just end with this part. Like, it hit people, like, big time when he, took himself out of the game. We ain't got to bring up screenshots of the long letter that Courtney Love sat there and read to, sat out there looking like.
It was written to Boda.
That was it. I had it. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
His imaginary friend, Boda.
Boda. Boddah.
Boda.
Boda.
But he wrote that. I don't know, man. Some say it was her handwriting. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there. There were people. I remember the one kid in school. I was like, dude, can you wear that yesterday? He's wearing the same clothes for like 3 days up until Kurt Cobain's, supposed funeral.
That was on
whenever they bury him, then.
Yeah.
I remember the Judgment Night soundtrack. Ooh, yes. Good Lord. This man said Creed, the greatest of all time. Lord. I'm going to keep my opinion to myself.
I bet he's going to say Nickel Stack was number 2.
He is Canadian. Nickel Stack.
Yeah, because that's about what they made.
God, Lord. Yep. I remember that. That was. But didn't Ice-T do the Cop Killer song in rock back then on that same album? If I'm not mistaken. BC said, do y'all remember the Judgment Night soundtrack with metal, rock, and rap merging together in each song in 1994?
Nope.
I remember. You don't remember?
I was too busy outside playing. I don't remember what a soundtrack is. When I was in high school, I didn't listen to a lot of music. I didn't watch TV. I didn't listen to much music. If there was music playing, I wasn't listening to it.
Well, and this is no pity party, but the reason why I listen to so much music and I dive so much into my music even nowadays Well, even back then, I was just really lonely. I didn't have a whole lot of, my siblings didn't live with me at the house. My little brother, who now lives in Colorado, we lived there, but he was 10 years younger than me. So I really didn't have anybody at the house to hang out with and play. My friends lived in a different part of town. So it was either me jump on a bicycle, and this is what I did: jump on a bicycle, put my cassette player or my Discman right here, which really sucks when you're riding a bicycle, and put on my headphones and ride around and trying to not to get ran over. But that's what
Yeah, that's what I was doing most of the time, was riding my bike or riding a skateboard.
That's right. He did Cop Killer with his band Body Count. Yep. So it wasn't on that album. I thought it was. I'd have to go back and check that out. But yeah, I can remember, like I said, kids being like seriously influenced by the death of Kurt Cobain. I was like, and I'll stand on this now. The death of one famous person doesn't affect me. Not that bad. Now, I cried when Greg Allman died, yes. I took a few minutes and by myself, and I was at your house. But
he's not just
found that.
But he's not just a musician.
Right.
He's Greg Allman.
I didn't know anything about it until I got home.
Yeah.
Well, Lachey called. Yeah. The former Mrs. Bosco called me and was like, "Hey, don't look on Facebook at all. Come home." And I was like, "What?"
And then he looked on Facebook.
But yeah, I got home and then I found out. Tyler S says, for me, it was the death of Eazy-E. I was so upset. Oh Lord, Eazy-E, that was rough.
Eazy-E, Tupac, Biggie, Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, that was all within that same time period, the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Tupac.
And that was all my music. Nah. We'll get into that some other time.
Yeah, we'll have to do like a 90s episode.
Because Tupac and Biggie were a slippery situation.
Yeah, two boys from Georgia doing an episode about Tupac and Biggie. Yeah, why not? We'll do a true crime episode about that. How about that?
But did he do it?
Oh.
Oh, there's the title for it right there. Did he do it?
Speaking of true crime, this is a nice little note. This day in history, we're talking about the 90s. Lisa Left Eye Lopez, the L in TLC, Andrea. She'll probably know this one better than we do, which I like TLC. They had some. Anyway, Lisa Left Eye Lopez set fire to her boyfriend's mansion in the suburb of Atlanta. And at the time, she was dating Andre, a Falcons player, Andre Rison. They got into a fight. She set fire to some of his shoes, and it burned the mansion to the ground. So, yeah. Toxic relationships all through the 90s. Well, all right, everybody. You got anything else? Creeping up on 2 hours.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything else in the chats? For those that are listening, go check out BC. I guess it's just, I don't know if Ski's in there with him or not. I haven't heard. But the Disruptors with BC, Brian Sanders. He said, read the book Labyrinth about Tupac and Biggie murders. Yep. Rubber Homicide Detective. Yeah. Wrote about Suge Knight, this connection. See, gosh, I think Tupac had himself, he got in trouble for himself. So,
Then why didn't Suge Knight get hit too?
Well,
I don't believe in coincidences. And no, I'm
wasn't
not
Suge
Gibbs.
that has to be a whole different episode, man.
I told you.
Oh, he's solo on Disruptors. For some reason, it fell out of my feed. Honestly, I know I was following, and then it fell out of my feed, so I didn't get any new episode notifications. I'm sorry, I had to go re-up that. For those that are listening, please give us 5 stars on Spotify. I would gladly and greatly appreciate it. Follow us on iHeart, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube Live, obviously. Did you pull that thing up? Or you want me to? You had it pulled up.
That's up to you. Yeah, I did, but it froze up.
Hang on. We're going to do it.
There you go.
Oh, did you get it?
I've got it bookmarked.
I don't. All right, I want y'all to do me a favor. we do this every week. Operation Tackle Box, 501c3 non-profit organization, healing through reeling, combat veterans, helping combat veterans. They help a lot of guys and military veterans that are struggling with PTSD, take them out on fishing expeditions, help them out with their VA claims, and do whatever else they can to help them. I can't read the screen because it's on your laptop, so I can't really see the words a whole lot. I'm just going off of memory. But go ahead.
So this is their raffle. It ends the 28th of February. It's for a Polaris Ranger.
I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
No. It's a 2023 Polaris. This gentleman here, I don't know if you can see the mouse. That's Jacob Watkins. He's the CEO and founder of Operation Tackle Box. It's a great organization. If you see it fit in your heart, please help donate. They do have a donate tablet here. There you go, right there. They do amazing work. We go over this every Sunday. It's the same stuff. It ain't changed. Family owned and operated. Him and his father. His father's the one that convinced him to start this. But he takes them fishing and helps them with, like GI Bill and VA claims. And they don't charge anything for it. It's just veterans helping veterans. There's just brothers helping brothers. That's what we do. It's what we're supposed to do. That's our job. And like I said, they do some really good work. Go check them out. OperationTackleBox.org. I'd post it in chat, but I'm not allowed to do those things. Bosco don't love me. That's why he left. Doesn't love me no more. Oh wait, he's coming back. Shh. Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Andreas is y'all check out our friends Disruptors with Brian Sanders. True Crime Tuesday on Andrea's channel. Andrea up late with Operation Tackle Box. I was going to say earlier as well, is they got a donate button. They have things on there. You can go buy some super sweet merch. I have it up on my. Hang on. Oh, excuse me. I had to run to the facilities for a second. I was my eyeball started floating.
Don't you love it when that happens? Oh, I already posted all of that. Well, not that, but I did say it was OperationTackleBox.org. They do have a donate page. They are running that raffle for the XP1000.
Okay.
They are local to Georgia as of right now. Jacob actually took up residence in Florida just recently. he's going to get settled down there, and he's basically going to open up another part of Operation Tackle Box down there.
See, I got Andrea played up on the screen. Actually, both. So you go in there, check out the Disruptors, Brian Sanders, Andrea Plate for True Crime. Brian Sanders, what do you, if you don't mind, in the chat for those that are listening, so I can actually tell my listeners, specific, like, what do you cover other than positive mental attitude? I remember he's the purveyor of PMA. I still have the decal on the side of my my mini fridge at work. But yeah, he puts out a real positive message. Not so much of putting on this fake facade of, hey, just being cheery through the rough times, just making sure that, hey, no matter what, you can get through the rough times. Ooh. Andrea's recent episode, and I did listen to that one, covers a man who kidnapped a girl, later married, and then murdered. Yeah, positive mental attitude sounds like a lifestyle that we can all benefit from. In light of this whole 27 club, you know, all the struggles and depression, anxiety, PTSD, things like that. And I'll just put it out there, and I always do. I don't have a problem doing it. I know everybody struggles. I struggle. I know that this the thing that I've gone through here with this divorce and all that has been very hard on me. Luckily, I got some great people that surrounds me that I can reach out to anytime. I know they're there, and I know sometimes when you're going through something, the last thing you want is somebody to go, "Man, everything's gonna be okay." You know, yeah, you don't know that at the time, but it will be. But you know, I don't mind putting it out there because, you know, y'all are my people. So you know, it has been hard, but I'm getting through it. I'm getting through the best way I know how. See, so if anybody's struggling with any kind of depression, PTSD, it don't matter if you're military, it don't matter if you're a former law enforcement like myself, for military like Turtle, BC, Marines Blood, you know, you know, first responder, EMS, whatever. If you're listening to this and you need somebody to talk to, reach out to, find me on Facebook, find me on Instagram, Forever Road Podcast on Instagram, Facebook. You know, shoot me a message. Hey man, I ain't feeling right. You know, we ain't gotta talk about stuff you're dealing with at that moment. We'll talk about whatever, you know. How does positive tracking in Plymouth work? It's a trick question. It doesn't. Or, you know, the timing on a 327 and a 62
Chevy
Buick
Bel Air,
Skylark.
yeah, or Buick Skylark. Yeah.
A trick question. That's what I like to call people out on. How's pod tracking the Plymouth work? No, it doesn't. It does not. You'll watch the movie Joe Dirt? No.
Depends on who installed it.
If it's a Chevrolet, let me say that. If it's a General Motors rear axle, yeah, sure, it's positive track.
That's why I said depends on who installed it. Now ask your Uncle Raymond why he would do something stupid like that.
But yeah, right. But yeah, talking about it does not matter. We ain't got to talk about that specific situation. Thank you, BC, for bringing me back. Talking matters so much. It does.
It does.
Marines Blood says he has a list of resources for veterans, first responders. Really needs, yeah, man. I mean, you bring me the list, I'll post it. I'll talk about it. We don't get paid for running the Operation Tackle Box. I do it just because, I mean, honestly, I care.
I do it because that's my brother.
Right. They've personally helped Turtle out. So, yeah, I know that for a fact. Me being a first responder EMS prior to me going to work in corrections, suicides are hard to work. It's rough. So yeah, it does. It affects the family. I'm pretty sure, and we got to talk about it, but pretty sure that everybody in here tonight probably has had one or maybe two family members have decided, hey, they couldn't handle things anymore. I know I have, but there again, what's the code to go off duty? 1042. If I'm remembering correctly.
Don't know.
BC will know. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing out there that's that bad that you have to clock out early. So reach out to me, reach out to Turtle if you got to. They'll probably laugh at you, call you a wuss, but reach
Nerd.
But yeah, man. So all the things that if I sat here one night and just went over my life story, if I can survive what I've gone through, I'm pretty sure everybody else can. But yeah, thank y'all so much for joining me in the chats tonight. It means a lot to me. I'm grateful for y'all. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all. I wouldn't continue doing this if it wasn't for y'all. So I really appreciate it. I don't get paid for this. This is just a couple hours out of my day. Well, more than a couple because I have to research and all that. But still, I enjoy it. I'm here. Turtle's here. Y'all have any other topics or whatever y'all want us to cover, let us know. Let us know in the chats. Let us know in the comments below. You got anything else, Turtle? Anything cool coming up this week?
Forza Horizon 5. And bowling.
Yeah. Yep. I could go to work. I'm off on Fridays, though.
Yeah, but when you get off of work, you could come watch me bowl. But
I'm still
you got responsibilities.
But Marine's Blood, BC, Andrea, wherever she went, Tyler S. Thank y'all all in the chats. I think that's about it. If I'm not mistaken. Thank you everybody in the chats. I will see y'all next week. I will see y'all Tuesday night over on Andrea's channel, 8:00. And I don't have any plans. I'll be sitting there ass deep in a chair in front of a laptop like this. So, like for home pizza. All right, y'all. As always, the road goes on forever. Let your soul shine. I love y'all. Peace.